Coming up on Focal Point.
A new gym has cut the ribbon inside this old Lantern Mall cinema. Find out what that is coming up.
After years of construction and a postponement due to COVID, find out what's going on inside at the STEM Teaching and Learning Facility.
Tony Grant's love and history for MSU football met at a crossroads with his job running the Jolly Pumpkin. That story coming up.
Staffing and supply shortages have some MSU students struggling to find a meal close to home.
This has not been the easiest time to do any job.
Focal Point starts now.
Hello and good morning. I'm Molly Gundry.
And I'm Reagan Holgate. Welcome to Focal Point, our first broadcast of the fall semester, and it comes at the beginning of homecoming weekend.
We will get to that story a little later, but first, students on campus can choose from 10 dining halls that can serve 50,000 students. And all those students are certainly back after the pandemic, but many of the dining halls are closed.
And it's because there are not enough workers. Some students don't mind walking through campus to find the open dining hall. Others are upset. And some parents think there should be some sort of refund. Maisha Johnson is live at Brody Hall, one of the largest dining halls in the country. Maisha, is that one open?
Yes, Reagan. Brody Hall here is open, but as you can see here to my right, it's closed to the public. Only people with their MSU IDs are allowed inside. Due to staffing shortages, dining halls have reduced their hours, and dining halls like Shaw and Landon are closed for dinner.
It's become the talk of campus.
I'm just very disappointed
that MSU dining halls are cutting back.
I'm closing by myself tonight in all these stations, so.
Brianna Holloway has felt the pressure working in this cafeteria. Not enough workers means more work for Brianna.
I'm not used to working all these hours by myself.
Team members in our dining area, some of them are working 70 or 80 hours a week. We've paid 3,000 hours in overtime.
MSU is continuing to hire more workers.
We need at least 1,200 more just to get back to our baseline.
But in both Shaw and Landon halls, there's a close for dinner sign.
We were really starting from the bottom coming into this year.
These students are happy to be eating Captain Crunch, but others want more choices.
At the cafeterias, I haven't noticed a shortage exactly, and they haven't obviously said anything about it, but you can absolutely tell because it's just pizza or hamburgers every single day.
It's not just about staffing shortages, but global supply chain issues too.
You'll go into the local Target or Meijer and you'll see that shelves are bare because we can't get the supplies we need.
MSU's Chief Communications Officer, Kat Cooper, hopes things will get back to normal soon.
You know, this is certainly not what we want to offer to students, and we hope this is a temporary measure.
When are they going to bring up the pasta? Oh my gosh, I miss it so much.
But for now, the pasta dishes may have to wait a little longer.
Yesterday, there was a hiring fair in the Breslin Center to fill 1,200 student positions. If you missed it, you can go to jobs.rhs.msu.edu to find a job on campus. In East Lansing, I'm Aisha J. reporting live. Back to you, Molly.
Thanks, Maisha. MSU has updated its COVID dashboard to provide public with information on the campus vaccination rate, as well as data from the Spit Kit program and quarantine housing. As of today, 87% of students, staff, and faculty have self-reported that they are fully vaccinated against COVID-19. There has been 454 total COVID cases reported by the Ingham County Health Department and University Physician's Office since Monday. 22 on-campus students currently reside in quarantine isolation. Weekly cases are reported by the Ingham County Health Department and the University Physician. To get the latest information on COVID-19 in the campus community, you can go to msu.edu/coronavirus and click the Testing and Reporting tab.
A recent positive COVID case went viral on Twitter. It all started when a professor's request to hold virtual class was denied by the university. An associate professor sent an email to students telling them even though the request was denied, they would still be holding class on Zoom. One of the students in the class posted it on Twitter, and within minutes, it was seen across campus. The university's contact tracing failed. It did not inform faculty of this positive case. There was still fear from both students and the professors, so they did not attend in-person instruction. MSU Deputy Spokesperson Dan Olson said the approval or denial of these requests ultimately lie with the administration in each college.
They need to make that request of their unit or college leadership, that being the department chair and the college dean. Those requests are evaluated on a case-by-case basis, and the decision ultimately lies with the dean in consultation with the provost.
The university says the health and safety of students and faculty continue to be top priority. With both the vaccine and mask requirements on campus, they aren't seeing a large surge in case numbers like this time last year.
2 university groups have joined up for a series of virtual get-togethers. In May, residential and hospitality services and student affair and services came together to form an inclusive campus initiative. On Monday, September 13th, a series of virtual community forums were launched, acting as a space for all things diversity, equity, and inclusion related at MSU. Each forum focuses on a hot topic about the real concerns and challenges students face at MSU. These forums allow students to ask questions and state their concerns with the university leaders.
We sort of talk about creating this initiative where we get to be very intentional. And the goal was really to think about this from a student perspective and looking at the student demands, not from an administrative perspective, but from a student perspective.
Forums will be held via Zoom on Monday, October 11th, November 1st, and November 15th from 5 p.m. to 6:15 p.m. Registration is required.
We see it all the time. Students spend 4 years of their lives here at Michigan State when they graduate and head into the work world. But then, and we see it all the time, some wind up coming back. One particular alum is partnering with current MSU student athletes. Focal Point's Ian Gilmore has the story.
This town is like home.
Hi.
For thousands of Spartans who spend 4 years in East Lansing.
You guys can follow me this way.
The same goes for Tony Grant.
I love Michigan State. I still love Michigan State. You know, I bleed green, as they say.
He was an MSU student a little while back. He was going to be an engineer.
Electrical engineering, and I had a concentration in electromagnetic fields and waves.
That is, if he didn't become a professional football player. He was the Spartan long snapper.
I was an offensive lineman and a long snapper.
He spent some time in the NFL, first with Washington, then bounced around the league trying to make it. Eventually, he came back to Michigan State.
2003, I went into the MBA program and got my master's in business administration.
Now he's the boss at the company that owns Jolly Pumpkin.
Will you take them to this table? Just 3? Yeah, okay.
Eventually came here full-time to run the company with my partners.
When name, image, and likeness deals got the green light this year, it was the perfect combo for Tony. He reached out to MSU's 6th-year offensive lineman, Matt Allen, and struck the deal.
So I just said, you know, I'd love to do something where you guys come in, eat some food, you know, we'll give you some swag. You guys can be brand ambassadors.
And he had to make sure he took care of his own position group.
And the long snappers get no love anywhere, ever, you know, and I know that firsthand. So I had to include the long snappers, too.
For Tony, the deal is great, but the relationships built because of it are even better.
I love to engage with, you know, with young people that if they have a question that I might be able to shed at least on my experience about.
As for who's getting the better side of this deal.
Oh man, we have some great food. I think I don't know. I'll leave it at that.
Well, that one might still be up for debate, but it seems like a bit of a win-win to me. In East Lansing, Ian Gilmore, Focal Point News.
Grant says he hopes to have the whole offensive line into the restaurant periodically as COVID restrictions continue to ease up. Customers will be able to meet the players when they're at Jolly Pumpkin. And coming up, after a year of delay due to COVID-19, 2 brand new campus buildings welcome students and faculty.
And a new life for a shuttered movie theater, a place to make movies instead of watching them.
And I'm Ian Gilmore. It's a beautiful day on campus. I'll have the full homecoming forecast coming up after the break.
Hasn't been the same since COVID. We all know that. The pandemic has affected each of our lives differently. Some have lost loved ones. Some have lost their jobs. Some have lost out on important milestones like graduation. Some really adds up to most. Most of us have been affected in some way with this pandemic. Stop the spread, and mask up.
Mask up so I can travel. Mask up so I can go to tailgates.
Mask up so I can go to concerts.
Mask up so I can see my family.
Mask up so we can live again.
Welcome back to Focal Point on Homecoming Week. It's National Hispanic Heritage Month, and Lansing Mayor Andy Shore kicked off the celebration with a proclamation at last week's City Council meeting. September 15th through October 15th has officially been recognized nationally as Hispanic Heritage Month since 1989. But now the City of Lansing is getting on board. Mayor Shore and Council Member Adam Hussein presented certificates to local Hispanic and Latinx residents. They are encouraging members of the community to reflect and honor contributions from more than 14,000 Hispanic and Latinx voices that live here. Local Hispanic leaders like Teresa Rosado and Esperaldo Esther Perez say they are looking forward to celebrating the month, especially as it creates more visibility in the community.
We were not more invisible because, we didn't exist. We were more invisible because no one was talking to us. So to have Hispanic Heritage Month recognized, that's wonderful. It's amazing. It's a step forward.
Lansing officials have yet to announce any in-person events due to COVID restrictions, but plan to continue acknowledging and honoring contributions of the Hispanic community throughout the month.
While students were away from Michigan State due to the pandemic, the campus has undergone some changes. Focal Point's McCoy Scribner is live at the College of Music ahead of today's ribbon cutting for the new Billman Pavilion.
That's right, Reagan. I'm live at the Billman Pavilion Music Wing, where representatives from the College of Music will cut the ribbon later today on the $41.5 million renovation and expansion. Just down the street in front of Spartan Stadium, the old power plant transformed into a teaching and learning facility, opening to students and faculty just a couple weeks ago. It used to light up the entire Michigan State campus. But this coal-fired power plant has been dark for half a century. Until now.
It's really cool and a really good addition to campus.
Rising from the ashes, or from the coal, is this. A brand new building that doesn't need coal or boilers. Just students and imagination.
We left everything exposed so that we can understand and get students to hopefully understand is there's a lot of things that go in to provide a comfortable environment that everybody wants to have.
Just ask Nestor De Ocampo and Sheena Balbeck. They get to run the new STEM teaching and learning facility. It has laboratories, a restaurant, and nooks to study in.
We had about, I think it was close to a 6-month delay when COVID. We were one of the first projects to get authorized by the board to continue because of the importance that we felt we needed to have this building open for our students.
I like how they preserve the old architect of the power plant that they had here, and the engines down there really add to the environment.
The STEM teaching and learning facility is around 150,000 square feet, which means the area can be used for so much more than just classrooms.
What we tried really hard to do was create an environment where all of our students could feel comfortable, find a place that they would want to go and be in for all day at times, because we realized very early on that we don't have a lot of places where the students can gather as a community.
This gives students the inspiration they need to develop new innovative ideas.
I think it creates a good working environment for people that are in the STEM majors to really have inspiration based off of all the architect.
And half a century later, the Shaw Lane power plant is still serving its purpose of bringing light to campus in a different way.
The most meaningful thing to me is just to see the enjoyment for students in their education at MSU.
Cost $110 million. It's the first time in 50 years the university received state funding for a classroom building on campus. Here at the music building, it looks like a beautiful day to celebrate. Festivities kick off here at 3 p.m., including donors, a special guest, and plenty of music. Stay tuned to next week's show for a tour inside. Molly?
Thank you, McCoy. Molly, have you been in either of the new buildings?
I have not, but by the looks of it, it's pretty cool, so I've got to check it out.
And it looks like a beautiful day for a ribbon cutting. Will the weather hold for the homecoming parade and football game this weekend? Ian Gilmore is live at the weather wall with our forecast. Ian, what's it looking like?
Reagan, it's looking pretty good. Haven't had a homecoming parade since 2018. They had to cancel it in 2019 due to rain. We'll get to that in just a second. Let's check out the rest of the country. You see the Northeast there, Portland at 58, Boston at 60. Some of those fall temperatures starting to creep in. And, of course, in the South, they're staying pretty warm, but a little bit of a cold front here in Dallas, 74, a little bit chilly for them. On the west side of the country, Seattle is at 53, and we'll check out the Midwest region. Detroit sitting at 61. Evansville down there in Kentucky sitting at 74. As you get a bit north, it gets a little bit colder, but Green Bay sitting at 69 over in Fargo. 63, Sioux Falls at 66. Now for closer look at Michigan and the current conditions around the cities around here. Mount Pleasant at 67, Detroit 67 as well. Grand Rapids, the best of the bunch at 72, and East Lansing here right now, 70 degrees, a perfect Friday for that homecoming parade. As we check out the 7-day forecast, like I said, today a good day, 77. Saturday maybe a little deceiving. It's going to get up to 80, but if you're going to the football game tomorrow night, may want to layer up a little bit, bring a rain jacket, because as we get into the night, the temperatures start to drop and the chances for rain go up and up. Through the rest of the week, Sunday, Monday, rain. Tuesday, Wednesday, 67, 69. Still staying pretty high in those temperatures as we move into October, and Thursday, 71 and a chance of rain. Molly and Reagan, that's all I've got. Back to you.
Thank you, Ian. I am going to the game tomorrow, so I might have to add a rain jacket into the outfit choice. Movie theaters took a financial hit during the pandemic, and many of them closed down, including the one at the Lansing Mall. However, a new project is going in that space, and Focal Point's Chandra Fleming shows us how one man is going from showing movies to making them.
Haru saw the empty and vacant Lansing Mall movie theater. He saw opportunity.
We're trying to Tyler Perry this thing.
It's been a year-long project, but it's ready for new life.
Yeah, having to do that, run around and do it themselves.
The name of Amaru's new studio is special to him. He named it after the 1921 race riots in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
We are all saying the same thing. We need something of our own. We need some inclusion. We need our voices heard, all of those things.
Amaru hopes his Greenwood District studio will attract all different kinds of creators, from TikTok productions to comedy.
We are working on getting the comedy club together. Last touches, trying to get the stage built, trying to get the sound system going for our grand opening on September 24th.
Shannon Pertner is not the only volunteer helping out Amaru for this project. Asad Donald also is lending a hand. Today, it's painting.
I don't get paid, it's just volunteering and things like that.
He also wants people to be prepared for the future of the production studio.
I think Lansing in general is not going to be ready for what we're bringing. It's not only just a community thing, it's what we can show the world thing.
The building will feature not only a comedy club, but a recording studio, writer's room, and a merchandising room, in addition to the theater studio. The production studio will also serve as a place where people can come in and rent equipment. Things such as tripods will be available. The project isn't finished, Amaru thinks.
I would say another year.
And then his dream of the Greenwood District Studios will finally be reality. In Lansing, Chandra Fleming, Focal Point News.
Viewers can buy tickets to the Comedy Club shows at funnyisfunnycomedyclub.com. You can also buy a brick on the wall as a donor or donate through their GoFundMe campaign.
A new MSU-themed hotel on Grand River opened this fall, creating a college campus atmosphere right inside the hotel. Guests of the Graduate Hotel have submerged into the MSU atmosphere with memorabilia decorating the lobby, hallways, and guest rooms. The hotel features a rooftop bar that gives a summer camp feeling with a breathtaking view of East Lansing and Michigan State's campus. The rooftop bar is open to the public 4 to 11 Sunday through Thursday and 4 through midnight Saturday and Sunday. But on football game days, the bar opens at 9 a.m.
With a lot of our design aesthetics, they do a good job of kind of touching every aspect, whether you were a Spartan just this past year you graduated or you graduated in 1970. We want people to feel nostalgic and happy and kind of carefree while they're here, and that's just really what our brand is all about.
Students are welcome to come and study or hang out at the Poindexter Coffee every day from 1 to 3 p.m. The East Lansing location is one of several university-themed graduate hotels across the country.
And now it's entertainment time. Big Brother wrapped up this week, and if I'm being honest, I've never seen it. Am I the only one?
Honestly, I have seen a few seasons, and it really does live up to its hype. I didn't watch this season, though, so I might have to go and watch it.
I think I might have to join the club. Asia Lawrence has Big Brother news and the Britney scoop. She's standing by at the entertainment desk. Asia?
History was made Wednesday night in the Big Brother world when Xavier Prather of Kalamazoo, Michigan took home the top prize, making him not only the winner, but the first black winner after 23 seasons. Prather called his win surreal and groundbreaking. Prather's dad, Rick, watched from home and is proud of his son's big win.
More than a parent could ever ask for, to see his son on TV and see him doing well, that's better than I could ever imagine.
Now, from the small screen to the big screen, here's this week's Movie Minute. In it, we focus on Britney vs. Spears, a Netflix documentary released Tuesday.
For 13 years, Jamie Spears has made personal decisions for his daughter Britney. As the court-ordered conservator, he could tell her what to wear, what to eat, and where she lived. Britney will be 40 years old in December, and now a documentary talks about all of it.
I just want my life back.
The documentary is narrated by filmmaker Aaron Lee Carr and journalist Jenny Eliscu.
No one would talk.
I'm not going to acknowledge that I was ever brought in to evaluate Britney Spears.
Until they did.
The film centers around unreleased court documents leaked from someone close to the conservatorship. Britney vs. Spears shows Britney attempting to get her own lawyer several times in the early years of her conservatorship. Recently, Britney's case reappeared in court. Judge Brenda Perry suspended Jamie Spears from the conservatorship and appointed a California accountant to oversee Britney's finances.
Is Britney finally free? Well, we don't know yet. A hearing centered around permanently ending Britney's conservatorship is scheduled for November 12th, so we'll have to wait and see. That's it in entertainment. Molly, Reagan, back to you.
Coming up, what better way to celebrate homecoming than with exercise? Find out what people are getting fit this weekend.
And can the 4-0 Spartans continue their winning streak with their homecoming game against Western Kentucky tomorrow? Riley Wolfbauer joins us next with sports.
As Spartans, we've taken steps together to slow the spread of the coronavirus. But the fight is far from over, and it's our job to continue to protect ourselves and our community. If we want what we love most about MSU,
in-person classes,
walking around campus,
tailgates,
we have to continue to take precautions. Follow state and local guidelines. Wash your hands for 20 seconds. Stay 6 feet apart from others when possible. And wear face coverings. These little things can have a huge impact. So mask up and make a difference.
Welcome back to Focal Point. I'm Riley Wolfbauer with this week's sports. Michigan State football had their first game on Saturday against Nebraska. It was striped to stadium night for MSU's second Big Ten contest of the season. We start here in the second quarter. Peyton Thorne drops back, throws a deep pass to Jaden Reed, and Reed is in the end zone to break open the game and give the Spartans a 7-0 lead. Later in the second quarter, Nebraska quarterback Adrian Martinez fakes the handoff and goes left to run it in himself. That ties the game up at 10. The MSU offense was struggling in the second half, but Jaden Reed lights things up and brings the Spartans back into the game with a 64-yard punt return to send the game into overtime. MSU would only need a field goal to win in overtime. Matt Coughlin, from just 21 yards out, sends it straight through the uprights and wins it for the Spartans. Coach Mel Tucker is happy with the win, but knows there are things to clean up before tomorrow's game.
I was proud of our football team for the effort that they showed and the grit and the heart and the determination. But as we know, we have plenty that we need to work on this week.
MSU is now 4-0 and is up to 17th in this week's AP poll. It's another night game for them this week, this time against Western Kentucky. Kickoff is set for 7:30 on Big Ten Network. Before Spartan Stadium lets fans in on Saturday, the Breslin Center will open its doors to the public. Both the men's and women's MSU basketball teams will host open practices on Saturday afternoon. Fans haven't been able to watch either team in person since the beginning of the pandemic.
You know, I'm just excited to share in person now and get back to that feeling.
I'm encouraging people to come just to get our players back to realizing normality.
The women's team starts practice at 2:15 and the men will follow at 3:15. Doors open at 2. DeMartin Stadium was a busy place on Sunday afternoon. It was Alumni Day for both the men's and women's soccer teams. We start with the men's team as they took on perennial powerhouse Indiana. Here in the first half, the Spartans send a ball to Farai Mutatu. He'll volley one to the front of the net, but it's stopped by Indiana's Roman Celentano. The Hoosiers only had one shot on goal, but sometimes that's all you need. Early second half now, Patrick McDonald finds the back of the net to give Indiana the lead. MSU threatened late in the game though. Here the ball finds its way to Gianni Ferri, but it's saved and the follow-up by Chase Inshow goes wide. MSU loses in disappointing fashion 1-0, but Damon Rensing does take some positives away from the performance.
We dominated Indiana in every statistical category. I've been with the program for 23 years. I don't know if we've ever done that against an Indiana program. We've certainly won games, but so that was a tough one to take, but I was encouraged by how the guys played.
The men's team is now 4-4-1. They host Penn State at DeMartin Stadium tonight. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. The first 100 students to enter the venue get a free scarf from the Red Cedar Rowdies. Meantime, the women's team was coming off their first loss of the season on Sunday. Minnesota rolled into town for another Big Ten matchup. Late in the first half, the Spartans drive to the byline but get tripped up on the play. Winning a penalty kick, Zavana Labovich steps up and drills it to give the Spartans a 1-0 lead heading into halftime. 10 minutes left to go now, and Minnesota ties it up. Izzy Brown deflects the ball past the Spartan defenders to make it 1-1. The Spartans now drive deep, looking to prevent a tie as the ball is sent to the front of the net, and it's MJ Andrews who cleans this one up, scoring with 6 minutes left. Andrews getting her first goal of the season. MSU wins it with the gutsy play, 2-1.
And we talked about before the game, like this is a game we got to get 3 points, stay right in the hunt. And when you concede like that with this group, I think it shows how they're getting mentally tougher every day. They're growing every day, and it's absolutely huge 3 points.
The Spartans also played last night. They drew 2-2 with Nebraska and are now 2-1-1 in Big Ten play. They have their second road game of the week on Sunday at Iowa. That's it for sports. Big weekend ahead. Reagan?
Thanks, Riley. Our Friday Focal Point finale is all about homecoming. Earlier this week, homecoming festivities kicked off on a healthy note with the 6th annual Exercises Medicine on Campus event and Healthy Homecoming Walk. The walk returned to Demonstration Hall Wednesday after being virtual. Exercises Medicine on Campus calls upon universities and colleges to promote physical activity as a vital sign of health. The Healthy Homecoming Walk competed with other universities by walking quarter-mile laps around Demonstration Hall.
So this year we're really excited. We're actually competing against 7 other institutions, which is the most number of institutions that have participated, and it's just a friendly walking competition to get students, staff, faculty, alumni, and community members out, engaging in movement, which I know makes our bodies healthy and our minds healthy.
Homecoming activities continued all week, but if you want some more fun, the MSU Homecoming Parade is tonight at 6 p.m. in downtown East Lansing. Molly, are you going to the parade?
Honestly, considering the fact that I haven't been able to go the past 2 years, I might just have to stop by. That's it for this edition of Focal Point. We'll be right back here next week. In the meantime, I'm Molly Gundry.
And I'm Reagan Holgate. We leave you with the sounds of the MSU Wind Symphony.